The Forest Temple from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Contest submission sent in by one of our Discord builders and silver patrons, RavenRavel. Thank you so much for your support. And here they say, hello Johnny. For the video game contest, I chose a game near and dear to my heart, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The Forest Temple was always my favorite in the game, and I thought it would be an amazing project to undertake. That being said, this is my first dark ride built-in planet coaster, and I also managed to build an entire park in a week and a half, so it certainly isn't flawless. I hope I capture the spirit of the level and the game overall. I learned a lot putting this together, mostly that you shouldn't start something as big in less than 2 weeks out. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Pixelated because his Cube of Illusion inspired me to attempt the Twisting Hall. Thanks for all you do for the Planet Coaster community, and thanks for the opportunity. Well, thank you so much for your appreciation. You are very welcome, RavenRavel. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the boarding station, and looks like we have a Power Sleigh track ride. Here's a look at the stats if you guys want to see them, and let's dive right on into this. Any custom music? Nope. Magical Tower? That might be custom, actually. All right, everybody, there it is. Let's hit the pause mode here and talk about this for a sec. I'm going to probably get a lot of heat for this, but I cannot really speak to Ocarina of Time too much. Now, I did have it for the N64, but I do have a bit of a problem finishing my RPGs. So I definitely did play Ocarina of Time, but I only remember maybe the first half of the game. Might even been less than that. I do not remember the Forest Temple. So in terms of my game feedback for you, whether you hit the aesthetics or not, is going to have to be determined by the viewers. So guys, leave your comments down below. Did he do a good job or not? Did some of this stuff exist in the game or did it not? For me, I would say some of this stuff, the spooky DLC, the cobwebs, the wallpaper, it was giving me a little bit of a confusing feeling between, are we in a haunted house or are we in a, you know, are we going down to a dungeon? It didn't feel to me like Zelda. I don't know why some of these posters weren't working. Well, that's unfortunate. Sometimes the images have a problem loading. Now, my feedback would be this crawl space, or sorry, exactly why I called it a crawl space. This dungeon feels too much like a crawl space because your roof is too low. I would have brought this down double the height, and then you could have had some more dungeonous stuff throughout the left and right. It's feeling a little bit too low and crampy. Now, I don't know if this is an actual recreation from the Zelda Ocarina of Time, but it feels a little bit mishmashy between Castle Dungeon, Spooky House. Castle Dungeon, Spooky House, if that makes sense. And I don't know if that's quite accurate. This felt very Elven, felt very Zelda to me. You know, you don't have to play all the Zelda games to know what you're seeing. And this, to me, does feel Zelda, where some of the other areas don't really hit it. However, this could have actually been very accurate for all I know. I'm not sure what's up with the checkerbox room. It's kind of cool. You did that Cube of Illusion twisting room. I would have liked to see it gone the full way upside down. You kind of made it only an eighth of the way, but I can imagine how tedious that would have been. This all feels very Zelda-like to me. So I feel like you nailed a lot of the aesthetics, and in fact, the ride was a lot longer than I expected it to be. When we came back into this little room here, I thought we were headed back to the station, and it kind of took us on a detour through this whole area, and it was quite a nice surprise. So lots of really good details here. The only thing I would say to clean up your castle a little bit more, add more columns, add more trim, add more emblems and things to the walls, as the repetitive textures just kind of, it gets a little bit monotonous after a while, and I just think there needs to be a little bits of detail here and there, whether it be trim work or something of that nature. But overall, I think it's pretty darn good, and you're going off the reference of an N64 game, which is usually pretty flat, plain textures with not too much detail. But I think you want to try and amp it up a little bit, because you can do so with Planet Coaster. But I think it's a pretty strong submission overall, and it's actually our first ride, other than the go-karts that we featured, the Donkey Kong go-karts. So yeah, very interesting. It's a little bit different giving feedback on these rides, and I think my next 9 recordings are going to all be rides, but you guys will be seeing them spaced out in between coasters. So I'll try to think of different ways to give feedback on the rides as I go through them, but I think mainly here we're focusing on the aesthetics. That's what a ride spotlight is all about. So I'm going to let you guys drop your comments down below, give your feedback on how accurate you think it is to the Ocarina of Time Forest Temple and what you think could have been improved. And be sure to keep an eye on the community tab, because you guys get to decide the first, second, and third place winners, coasters versus rides, what's going to be the top contenders. I am curious to know what you guys vote on, so keep an eye on that. And that's going to do it for this episode of Ride Spotlight, everyone. If you enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by becoming a patron. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next contest entry. Bye now.